you'll never believe this. And what were we doing throughout the year? Grand Prix, fashion weeks, galas, like the same crap.
Poor you.
It's barely changed. DiCaprio is like a genuine fan of my memes. To me, he is Supersnake. Like, he's the archetype.
I've never been to Art Basel.
You've never been to Art Basel?
I've never been to Art Basel.
Are you just saying this to look good on camera, or you actually haven't been?
No, I've never been to Art Basel.
All right. Oh, you would love it.
Explain to someone who's never been. Elon Musk that says, he who controls the memes controls the universe.
It's the most shareable content in the world. It's really fascinating to kind of chat to him.
How is the dating scene?
Social media has had a massive negative effect on dating.
What are some things that you very much judge?
Just dress normal. Like imagine if it had James Purse. It would ruin it. It would completely ruin the t-shirt.
So what advice would you give someone trying to build social media presence? How's your Dubai trip?
I mean, I've moved here now, so...
What?
Yeah. Did I not mention?
No, you mentioned that you were going to be spending more time here. I didn't know you moved here full time.
Like I've almost done everything. I'm getting my Emirates ID very soon.
Okay,
and
nice.
Then, But then I'll move properly after the summer. But
okay. And what triggered the move?
Many reasons. Like, needed a change of scenery, was getting sick of London, and a lot of people leaving London. Wanted to kind of explore more work opportunities out here, be closer to a different part of the world, like be more connected to Asia and Australia. And just the need to like have sunshine in my life and like be able to go to the beach and have the sea. Like, you know, London can be very depressing, especially in the winter months. And I was just sick of it. And I was like, I'm finally gonna course correct and like actually change. And I finally did it. So,
it's a shame about London. Like, London has a special place in my heart, but it's kind of in decline. You know, we can't. Have to admit it.
For a while.
Still a special city, but
it is special. It is special, and I'll always love it to an extent. You know, I've got family there and a lot of attachments. But it's more, I think, as a young entrepreneurial guy, it's not the city anymore.
Yeah,
you feel disconnected from the rest of the world and what's going on, and I felt, especially in my business too, that I was away from everything that was going on. And that's not a good position to be in, because you're like, well, I have to go to America all the time, and I have to go to the Middle East, and I have to travel so much to feel like I'm part of something.
Yeah.
And also just, you're young and you're single. It's just not the place it used to be.
Yeah. No,
maybe that's just my perception. I think when you're in a place for too long and you're from a place, naturally you get, you have a different perception to other people that come for the weekend or for a week, and they're like, oh, London's amazing. But I maintain that if you're there most of the year, it's not the best.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I just want to introduce you before we properly get going.
Yeah, go for it.
So you are Andreas Metaxa, aka Supersnake.
Good pronunciation, by the way.
Tried my best.
Metaxa.
Yeah. I'm an 8th Greek. My grandma is...
Yeah, I remember. You told me the first time we met.
Yeah,
you were
my grandma is Greek.
I love that.
So most of you probably know him as Supersnake. And I noticed last night, I follow 2,000 people. And 610 people that I follow you. So
that's high.
That's very high.
It's not the highest number. Recently, I was with someone that claimed they'd never heard of my account, and 1,200 of their people followed me. I looked at it. I was like, that is a crazy number. And they said, how is that possible? I was like, how is it possible that you haven't heard of it? That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if that says more about the success of the account or the friend
it's a
group
reflection
that
of
I'm.
you. Yeah, you need to find new friends.
But yeah, clearly.
Me too as well. Yeah.
But
that's why I'm here.
Every podcast I've done so far, I wore my Xenia shoes. And then I noticed on one of your posts, you said... The official sneaker of the sexually vanilla rich douche with the personality of a cabbage. Explain yourself.
Okay, so when I'm doing those posts, obviously, you have to select one stereotype.
Yeah.
Because if you make it too broad and too general, it's not funny. So I always have a character in my head when I'm doing those things. Like, what does your favorite shoe say about you? Or what does your favorite DJ say about you? And I just had in my mind those like Italian, French, Swiss guys in London that work in finance, and they wear the triple stitch, and they're just a bit vanilla. They're just a bit bland.
Yeah,
they're like not particularly interesting or fun. I just had a lot of those dudes in my head when I was thinking about it.
And
So that's what I based it on.
You've seen plenty of them, I guess.
Oh my God, unfortunately, yeah.
Damn.
Finance guys are very boring.
Well, you used to be in finance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
for a brief
you're the
stint.
most boring person I've met.
I mean, I'm not that fun, but finance with like as an industry, I just find it so boring.
Fair enough. Well,
And the guys can be, or they can be so fun because their job is so boring that they have to live this
Vent
like
out.
crazy wild social life to compensate for it.
yeah.
I think is my work life is quite fun. So I don't need to kind of like blow off steam all the time.
How did you switch from finance to being an admin of the Supersnake page? Because
I mean, that was many years later, but I studied, I went to a pretty good university and I was like,
Oxford, right?
Yeah, I went to Oxford and I was like,
don't have to be modest.
well, it's better if you say it. If I say it,
Yeah.
I sound like that guy. But yeah, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I did a languages degree, so that doesn't naturally lead you to anything. And my parents, like my dad, didn't put me under any pressure at all. He was like, "Oh, do whatever you want." And then my mum was kind of just like, "Oh, you need to get a good job. You need to get like the best job possible."
Yeah.
And I just naturally in my head, I was like, "Oh, it's got to be something in finance." And I got like a nepotism hire through this friend of my dad's who had like a private equity company in London.
I love the transparency.
I'm very honest about everything. Like that's fine. Like I wasn't a finance genius. Obviously, I had a really good degree.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were hiring an idiot. Like I know a bunch of people, friends and extended friends that I grew up with in London that get nepotism hires and they don't really deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, they went to like Regents or something. Like they shouldn't be getting hired at like Citibank or Deutsche Bank or UBS or whatever. Anyway. So yeah, I was just like, I'm going to try finance and just see if it works for me. And I kind of realized after about a day that it just wasn't for me. And interestingly enough, my role became kind of like the office spell checker. Like the president and the CEO of the company would send me every single correspondence email they're about to send out and say, rewrite this for me, make it sound better, like polish it up, fix these presentations, make the presentation sound better. And so I realized at the time, Oxford really trains you to write.
Yeah.
So I knew I had some sort of talent with words, but I never thought of it as like a potential career option. I was just like, oh, I'm good at spelling and I'm good at grammar and I'm good at rewriting stuff. But even that was like a little seed that was planted that was like, okay, that's something that I'm good at. And I was also shocked at the standard of kind of literacy of most people in finance in general. It was completely shocked, especially coming from Oxford where you cannot make mistakes. If you make a spelling mistake or a grammatical error or something, we had a teacher that would just put like a big red X
On the
through an
entire
essay,
time.
through the
Wow.
entire essay if there was like a bad grammatical error, like a punctuation error. Yeah, so we had it drilled into us. It's pretty wild.
Interesting.
So, I did that for like a year and a half. I think I put 2 years on my CV, but it wasn't. It was like a year and a half. And yeah, just knew it wasn't for me and I knew I had to change. But again, didn't know what to do after that. And then should I go through the career journey that got me there? Or I can condense it.
It can do. I just want to touch on the fact that
It's not that interesting.
You clearly have some, well, I don't want to say some, like a high degree of linguistic skill because you were making posts on Instagram that had very long captions. And
Yeah.
I can promise you, no one usually reads long captions. But when it came to your posts and friends would be sharing the content to one another,
Yeah.
everyone read the caption. Even if it took like 2 minutes to read, people would read the caption.
Yeah, not so much anymore. That's why I had to kind of change.
Because the
adapt.
algorithm?
The algorithm changed completely. I was like, up until maybe 3 years ago, I was purely just kind of static image
Yeah.
based content. And that was fine. And I was doing really well doing that. And I was growing really well. And then all of a sudden Instagram were like, oh, we want to be TikTok now. And once that shift happened, I was kind of forced to adapt. But it's difficult sometimes. It's like, maybe you're known as a painter and you've been a painter your whole life, and all of a sudden painting's outlawed and everyone's doing performative dance. And it's like, try telling a painter to start doing performative dance instead of painting. It's like, it's a whole different skill set. Not that I was against it. I was very happy to do video here and there, but like now if you don't just, most accounts now are exclusively video.
Yeah.
Like if you're just a
Short
photo-based
form clips.
account, exactly. And also it's not just video, it's like 3 to 9 second video,
Yeah.
which I find crazy. I would like to think I'm like a storyteller. I like to, you know, I love in movies like anticipation and build, slow build in TV shows, like reaching a crescendo of drama. Like I'm not the sort of person that's digesting like 3-second videos just on TikTok. Like, you know, like that's not, but I'm 34. Maybe I'm just like old school. But yeah. So as soon as that shift happened, I couldn't do the long captions anymore because I was just like, the post would bomb.
Yeah.
So
it's such a shame that the attention span is just not there anymore
Zero.
in general. And we're not talking of a prolonged attention span anyway. It's not putting someone through a movie or even a 20-minute TV show. People can't focus on something for longer than 10 seconds now. It's wild.
no, they can't. And for me, the issue is, yeah, people have like an average, 3-second attention span, or it could be less. I forget what the data is. But also, within that 3 seconds, if you haven't completely sold the person to buy into that video, you're screwed.
Yeah.
The algorithm is just like, oh, this must not be interesting content. That's why all of these guys are doing these trick starts on Instagram. Like, you'll never believe this. And, oh, guess what I just got told yesterday? And you'll never believe who told me. Like, it's like these sensationalist beginnings to videos. I'm never going to do that. If I'm doing like a sketch video, I'm not going to start it with like, you'll never guess what I was told,
Yeah.
That's just not me. I hate doing that. I'm not very like YouTuber-y or like, it's not my vibe.
At least the benefit that you have is the followers that already follow you, when they see on the top of their timeline Supersnake post, they're like, all right, let's get ready. Let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, but the problem is they're not seeing it as much anymore.
Because the algorithm's not pushing it.
No, it's not pushing it. Like I had a good, I honestly, I used to get on memes. I used to be disappointed with 10,000 likes.
Yeah.
Disappointed. I'd be like, oh, that was a bomb. Now, if I get 10,000 likes, I'm like dancing around the living room, like ecstatic.
Damn.
And that was 3 years ago. I was getting, on average, 12 to 15,000, sometimes 20,000 quite regularly on posts. Now, if I get 20,000, it's like a miracle. And it's crazy because it's like I'm bigger. I've like grown in terms of followers. Clearly, the brand is bigger, but the engagement's worse. And I'm doing, I don't think the content's worse. I think it's, maybe it's sometimes better, sometimes it's worse. But this is the issue. I'm not looking at Instagram as like the be all and end all. To me, it's a portfolio where I can show off what I can do, and then it will help me to do stuff in other fields like TV, like film.
100%.
But I think for creators that solely rely on that, they have to adapt.
Yeah.
So I've just been growing a lot slower, but I'm not going to compromise my values and what made me, what I am today, because that would just be silly. Like I have to stay on brand and true to myself. I'm not going to tone down the language, and I'm not going to just do like sensationalist, like TikTok style videos. Just not my vibe.
I respect that. You should stay true to who you are. And with regards to toning down the language, I know that you previously had some issues with Meta, and there was a massive woke ideology that was being pushed, or censorship. I think probably the more accurate description.
Yeah.
But I want to talk fake shamans. I think you have PTSD with fake shamans.
Yeah.
I can't say I quite know exactly what a fake shaman is, but you do post about fake shamans. Maybe that's because
you are the fake shaman.
Am I? That's okay.
Maybe that's why.
Well,
who knows?
Well, explain the fake shaman.
Okay,
sorry to interject, because I find the content of the fake shaman hilarious.
Yeah, but if you've noticed, I've stopped doing it as much because I killed the fake shaman.
Why?
And as in like me making fun of those guys so much, I honestly believe has had a cultural impact. And these guys are like doing it, addressing like that less and less. Anyway, let's get to the foundation.
Yes.
The fake shaman is a guy that exploits spirituality in order to get laid. That's the easiest way.
You feel that describes me?
Well, no, I don't think so. But it's it's like it was a bit of an epidemic back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm talking like the Tulum crowd, the Costa Rica crowd, the Bali crowd, of these guys dressed in like linen and hemp, the cloaks and all the necklaces and the like 5,000 bracelets, like talking to girls about star signs. But it was all a ruse in order to get laid. It wasn't like they didn't deeply believe in it.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen so often that I just started calling it out, and clearly people noticed it too, because a lot of girls would DM me and be like, "Oh my god, this thing happened to me in Tulum, or this guy tried this thing." Like it was a real thing, and so the character just developed and built from there. But now I rarely see them. You remember in Scorpios, there's that store
Yes, Caravana.
Caravana Couture.
That's why you call me fake shaman. I had my
Exactly.
Scorpios kitted
Yeah,
out,
exactly.
but no bracelets, no horoscopes, no spirituality.
But that was the outfit. That was kind of like the outfit of the fake shaman,
Okay.
like full Caravana Couture. And I was making fun of this brand so much that like the brand even like DM me and they were
No
like threatening
way.
me and like, you got to stop using our product images and damaging our brand. And I was just like, all right,
Wow.
how fun is that? So yeah,
That's crazy. That's
I know.
crazy. And on that point,
Yeah.
I want to mention there's a quote by Elon Musk that says, "He who controls the memes controls the universe." So,
love that.
to what extent do you feel memes have had an effect on modern day culture and society and perceptions?
I mean, I think clearly a gigantic impact, seismic, and you know, it's the most shareable content in the world. It will always be the most discussed content amongst friends, like funny images, funny videos, anything to do with humor. And I just love the fact that you can repurpose something which looks harmless, and then just by adding words to the top of it, it becomes something totally different. And I don't know. I mean, I remember years ago, like the original memes on those old websites like eBaum's World and all this stuff. And I just found it really fascinating. And then when proper meme culture started with all the classic templates that everyone's seen, I just found it very, very interesting and intriguing. And I don't know. I think like sometimes you're just good at it or you're not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a way with, you know, finding images and just repurposing them. And I kind of like words are my strong suit, I think. So, yeah, no, that massive. And he obviously knows what he's talking about.
And I think, to be honest, that's how he also, to a certain degree, obviously does a million other things that are very interesting, but I think he attributes quite a large extent of his following to the memes that he shares and discusses.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think he's naturally very funny. I actually I was at a dinner, sat next to him in Austin a few years ago, and it was really fascinating to kind of chat to him and talk about that stuff. But he's a naturally very funny guy. He's you know, he's a bit awkward and strange.
Yeah, he has Asperger's.
Yeah, he's got that sort of vibe, but he's very funny. And I think, look, I mean, you're seeing kind of every single brand account now is turning to humor and memes in order to try and sell their products or services, whatever. I mean, it's like it's the number one thing now, and the number one target. Even brands that you'd never expect to have that hire all these like funny admin people now that run their X accounts or whatever and try and make stuff funny. I think it's so important. And brands that don't do it, I find crazy. I think, you know, and this is an issue with me and working with brands a lot of the time, is that I've tried to convince them to turn to humor, especially luxury brands.
But no,
and luxury brands are impossible to convince.
Yeah.
Impossible. Luxury hotels, luxury watches and fashion, and they're just not interested in humor. They don't even consider it. And I think it's such a mistake.
Well, I mean, they have very low engagement. You know, people don't really connect to corporate things on social media. I feel Ryanair was 100%. The first brand, or one of the first brands to do these crazy, outlandish posts and content. And now, exactly as you've said, and to my realization, it's only been a couple months, maybe it's been longer and I haven't noticed, but now, every page is doing it. Football pages are doing, like, everything. Everything. It's wild.
No, but it makes total sense. The way I try and explain it to marketing people or, you know, creative agencies or whatever that are working with these brands is like, why would a person that doesn't have any affinity with your product or your service or whatever visit your page? Mm-hmm. Give them a reason to. And they're like, oh, we just have like beautiful imagery of the bottle or it's like,
no one cares.
No one cares. For instance, your brand. Why would people go visit the page? You've got to give them a reason to. Either it's very educational, which is one thing, or it's aspirational. It's like wanderlust, beautiful imagery, that makes sense. Or it's funny. You kind of have to hit one of those three categories. It's got to elicit emotion in some way. And the easiest emotion to elicit is humor and laughter. And a lot of brands just refuse to even consider that idea. And I think it's a massive, massive, massive error because they will continue to lose market share and continue to not have an impact on, you know, the younger generations if you're not getting to them through humor. Even if you're using a celebrity or influencer that's funny, use them as a conduit. You don't need to be funny on your account, but work with people that are funny.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. So I'm hoping that there'll be a a sea change and that will start to happen, because obviously my audience is kind of tailored towards the kind of the luxury industry, and I wish I could work with more of those brands, but
Yeah, no, I mean, clearly the tides are shifting big time, and I think it's just a matter of time till that shift makes its way to become somewhat universal, encompassing the luxury brands as well. I want to ask you, how do you come up with your content? Because most meme pages that I see, let's say it's a finance meme page, they'll take existing memes and they'll apply it to finance, or football page will take an existing memes and they'll apply it to football. But the level of creativity and that you implement in your page, I mean, it's wild. Like I think.
Yeah, and I've never used.
How do you come up with this stuff?
Ever? I mean, I could probably.
You never use what?
I've never taken a meme and posted it as my own, ever. I've of course I've done that on stories, but I never claim that it's mine.
Yeah.
And a lot of accounts. I mean, the big accounts also, the big meme accounts that started, like, can I swear?
Yeah.
Fuck Jerry and whatever. They're, and Fat Jewish and whatever. They're meme curators, right? They're not content creators. They're curating stuff. A lot of the big accounts that you see now that are dominating the meme space, the massive accounts of like plus 10 million followers or whatever, they're curating memes or curating content. So there's a lot of pressure on the creators to continue to pump out original content. I've been doing this since basically the beginning of 2019, end of 2018. It's a long time. And it is hard. How do I come up with the stuff? Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you, because it really just... Can I be honest? Some days I feel like I'm done. I feel like I'm never going to be able to come up with something funny again. And you're just in a rut of negativity and pessimism, and then just something will happen. Something will click. But it's really an exercise in patience and persistence. You've just got to sit there and just keep going. But it's not a very glamorous world. Like, I'll sit at home and I'll be working on one idea for like 10 hours. And it seems like a simple idea, but it's not. And I'll spend the whole day working on it. And then finally by 6 p.m. I've got the breakthrough and I post it. But all people see is just the image and the text and whatever. But there's a lot that goes into it.
So it's not that you're chilling or doing something, or you're out with friends and you get an idea, oh damn, this would be amazing
that happens.
Okay.
That happens a lot.
So it's both. There's structured sitting down moments.
Yeah. Well, I make notes. I make a lot of notes. So I use my notes app or my reminders app. And if something inspires me in the real world, I'll make a note of it.
Okay.
I won't necessarily tell people. Yeah. Sometimes I tell them, sometimes I don't, but I'll just make a note and then I go back to it. So that's always kind of my starting point. As I look at my notes app, I'll look at my reminders and I'll see if I've kind of made a note of any ideas I want to do. And then I have stuff that I've been working on for weeks and months that I just kind of like add a little bit more to every week or so. And then eventually it's ready, but it's not quite fully done, like fleshed out as an idea. But there's no easy way to explain it to you. I mean, I'm a one-man band. I've never hired anyone. I mean, I hired a couple people to kind of help me with my clothing and stuff back in the day, but I've never hired anyone from like an ideation creativity perspective, like a copywriter or a creative, because it's really difficult. It's difficult to find someone that's got even 10% of my experience and view of and knowledge of all the different stuff.
You can't hire that.
You can't hire it. I mean, it's hard. Like I've been traveling around on this circuit, let's call it, since I was even before 18, but properly since I was 18 years old. I'm now 34. I'm turning 35 in the summer. 17 years of doing the same stuff every year, because it hasn't changed that much. When I was 18, what were we doing throughout the year? Grand Prix, fashion weeks, galas, like the same crap.
Poor you.
It's barely changed. I'm not trying to elicit sympathy. It's more like, it's a lot of trauma, a lot of suffering. But no, it's been fun. Of course it's been fun. But what I'm saying is, like, how can I find someone that's even got 5% of that's funny, that's creative, that isn't a guy that's working for his family office or like some big company and like doesn't have time to sit with me and make memes? Like, it's very hard.
Thing is, even if you could find someone that's seen all that, experienced all that, it's a completely different thing to find someone who is so observant to be able to notice all of that and take
Yeah.
all of that in. And then it's another completely different thing because someone can be extremely observant but may not be able to express their thoughts
100%.
and ideas in such an articulate way.
Yeah, and that's always been me. I've always been like, I used to do it to my friends. I used to do impressions of them, and I would always do it with like a lot of hyperbole. Like that became my kind of signature. Like I would notice something about someone, like a mannerism or like something in their tone of voice or something in their accent, and I would just pick up on it and I would just do it to death, like really go all in on it. And I just noticed that no one else had that perception. Like I'd always come up with nicknames for people, and like every single nickname in our group of friends in London, like I came up with a nickname. It's weird. Like I just noticed something about someone and then just roll with it. And I was relentless. Like I wouldn't stop. And then it just became the nickname.
No one is safe.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I've been doing this since I was 18 with my friends. Yeah. And so I'm doing it in a different way now, but it feels very natural because it's exactly what I was doing before, but just to a larger audience. Instead of like 4 guys at KX Gym in London, it's now like, a few 100,000 people.
Yeah, a few 100,000 people. And in some cases,
that is crazy. Like I was thinking about it because I hit 300K the other day, and I was like, that is 3 new camps worth of people, or like almost 4 Wembley stadiums worth of people.
Yeah, and spread out.
It's crazy.
It's not just one geography.
It's really bizarre.
Different cultures, different.
Yeah, and when I see because followers is one thing, but reach is another thing. And when I'm seeing, like I think I'm on like 7.5 million accounts that I've reached this month.
Wow,
it's crazy to me. So having the followers is one thing, but like knowing that 7.5 million people have seen my content this month.
Yeah, means you're doing something
wild.
right.
I guess, and I'm fighting against the tide, but it does encourage me because clearly something is going right if I'm reaching those people.
Yeah.
But I just wish I could grow more. It's just been stagnant growth.
It'll come. I feel.
I hope so.
The platform's gone too extreme in one direction, and in life, I feel whenever that happens, the pendulum starts to swing the other way. It's just.
I actually met the CEO of Instagram the other day.
Okay. Did you mention this to him?
I didn't want to go too far into Instagram chat because. I was at the Arsenal match, Arsenal Real Madrid. I'm a huge Arsenal fan.
Oh, damn! Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah. Well, when's the next match?
Tuesday.
Okay, good luck.
PSG at home. Yeah. So I saw him by the bar because we have these nice seats in the stadium, and I turned to my brother and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the CEO of Instagram. I have to go talk to him." So I just kind of made a beeline for him, and we did have a brief chat. But he assured me, he was like, "We're doing all we can to promote comedy, to make sure there's no censorship, to allow voices to be heard." Like he was assuring me that he loves British sarcastic satirical stuff, loves the idea of content creators being free to be able to express themselves in a comedic
which wasn't
way.
The case about
but that's a societal and political change that's enabled that. But I don't like the fact that just because the Dems were in last term that you have to like have a complete company shift. Like you should have your company values and stick to them. And I don't like the government overreach, the fact that the government was forcing Facebook to censor certain people and forcing them to remove certain content. Like that doesn't sit well with me. So
100%.
I'm glad that despite, regardless of what you may think about politics in the US, I think that's really healthy that social media platforms should only be removing illegal stuff.
Yep.
That's it. They shouldn't have any other overreach. Everything else is purely like, it's a subjective thing. Like, oh, you might not think this works to do with COVID, but let's see. Yeah, you might be proven wrong in 10 years. There's no definitive fact. If something's illegal, if you're promoting violence or whatever, take it off. But everything else should be left alone.
Well, on the note of COVID, right, the centralized publishers and the main journalists and even the governments, they were wrong about COVID. Yeah. And it was the individuals with small voices that were right, that were getting censored, having their pages shut down, accounts shut down for telling the truth. And there are many instances of this. So it's, as you said, if it's not illegal content, then no one should be censored. We now should celebrate the fact that we live in a world where information is decentralized.
Yeah.
That leads to much better things, in my opinion.
Of course. I mean, that's the way it has to be.
Definitely.
So I think hopefully that will make my job easier and will improve the state of comedy on social media I'm already seeing a bit of a change.
Yeah.
So long may it continue, because that needs to be the case.
Because
comedians have to feel free to be comic. We're the ones that are meant to be pushing the boundaries, and it's all in jest. It's a bit of fun. You can't take everything seriously. You can't take everything, at face value, because that's just, we don't want a world that's devoid of.
Man, but
we have to be able to laugh at stuff. And it's just as much as you laugh at other people, you can laugh at yourself.
But also in the real world, it's not like when you attend a dinner or you conduct business in a business meeting or you're in any social setting, everything that you hear is not going to be something that you like to hear.
Yeah.
You're going to hear opinions that you don't like, opinions that you disagree with, things that may trigger you. And we're not censored of that in the real world. And hearing different opinions and being exposed to things that we may not necessarily like helps shift or shape our personality and opinions. So I don't see why we're comfortable with that happening in the real world, but we wouldn't be comfortable with that happening in the digital world. But
totally.
On the point of no one being safe under Supersnake, I wanted to ask you, what are some things that you very much judge aside from promoters and fake shamans? Or we can touch on promoters and fake shamans if you like.
What kind of people?
What kind of people do you see and you're like...
I judge everyone, and I think it's very important to do that, because you can't just be focused on one particular type of person. I used to get a lot of heat from a kind of a gender perspective of like, oh, you're only making fun of women, or but it's not true, because case in point, yesterday I did a whole kind of throwback meme carousel intentionally focused on different types of women, because I had done a very masculine dominated one. Because I have to pay attention now, and I looked at my last 5 to 10 posts, and there was a real strong male bias, and I was like, okay, we need to make fun of some women now. Nothing wrong with that. And so I did on purpose a whole women focused carousel, and of course, like clockwork, I get a woman in there going, oh, I find this weird that every post here is about women. And I just wrote underneath, very strange that no one comments when the posts are just about men. And it got 100 likes, that comment. Because it's true. No guy would ever be like, all these posts are about men. What's wrong with you? Because it's not a thing. Yeah. And the more women call it out, it becomes more of a thing. They selectively look at my stuff and they just say, as soon as I make fun of a woman, you're a sexist, you're making fun of women, you're demeaning towards women, what's wrong with you? But I'm like, well, look at the other 100 posts I did making fun of men. You never comment about those. You've seen my stuff. Lame rich guy, fat Indian guy. I'm always making fun of guys all the time. And what do we see in our society? We're seeing a lot of women, right, that are, exploiting men for certain things that they want. But that's true, and it's always been true. But there's nothing wrong with talking about it. I'm not saying that every woman is like that, but there are some that are like that. It's undeniable. Just like there are evil men and good men. So, I don't know. I think it's really important. I forget what the original question was. Oh yeah, who's safe? I call out everybody, just anyone or any type of activity. And I call out myself. I make fun of myself all the time. And I'm self-aware enough to be able to make fun of myself. And I think it's funny. I love when people make fun of me. My dream is to be roasted on Comedy Central. That's, the Justin Bieber roast and the roast of Donald Trump. I would love to do that. For my 40th birthday, I want to set that up. I want to do the roast of me and and hire professional comedians and get my friends to do a set. To me, that would be the most fun thing ever. I love that stuff. So
why do you think there's such an issue today in society with people being so triggered and offended by these things? Is it a lack of security? Do people feel insecure about it? Why are people so triggered?
That's a whole podcast on its own.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, in all honesty, the way I grew up and the sort of comedy that I was enjoying as a kid, it meant that everyone kind of turned out in a particular way. I grew up in the UK, went to boarding school, really, really tough. The kids are making fun of each other. It's savage. Turned 18, moved to London, very savage. Everyone in our friend group is going at each other, making fun of everything. You buy a new pair of shoes. What the hell are those shoes? You feel like a fucking idiot. Just so kind of everyone just looked the same. We were all just wearing open walks, jeans, t-shirt. Like everyone just like had the same look because like otherwise, you know, if you wore anything like slightly out there, like your friends would just kill you and destroy you until you just got rid of the item. So I was used to the idea of just making fun of each other. To me, it was healthy.
Yeah.
My favorite show growing up was South Park. Still is my favorite show. And so that's just what I was used to. And there were no overly sensitive people. It was fair game. Everyone was fair game, especially growing up in the UK. It's very, you see it, don't you? Like culturally, like look how different the Americans are to the British, or the British and the Australians are totally the same. Americans are totally different. You get some kid from Greece or from Switzerland, and you bring them into like a UK environment. They get destroyed by the English guys.
Yeah.
Like so I'm glad I grew up in that environment. I'm not like that. I think there are boundaries that people cross sometimes. But I think most stuff is fair game. Like my favorite comedy show at the moment is the show called Kill Tony, and it's incredibly savage.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's my humor. I like really, really like strong, intense roast humor. So I don't know. I don't know why there are so many snowflakes. I think social media has not helped because you can report people. Oh, I didn't like this post. I'm going to report it. Like, who cares? Mute them. Do you know how easy it is to mute someone and then you'll never see them again?
Dude.
You can curate the algorithm. If you only want to see cute little ponies,
like
Instagram will show you that.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I mean, how often maybe you get into a black hole of content and you start looking at snowboarding videos. The next day, your explore feed is just snowboarding videos.
Yeah.
They're experts at it. So you can curate your feed to be whatever you want. I don't understand why you would report people.
Do you get online hate, or do you get reported frequently?
Yeah, of course.
What kind of hate? Is it in your DMs? Is it in the comments? How do people express
Mostly
their
DMs.
hate?
Mostly DMs, but definitely in the comments as well.
What kind of things do people say?
Oh, they say a lot of mean stuff. But I find it funny because if I took offense to that, I'd be the biggest hypocrite ever. I say mean. It's like, I mean, it's objectively mean, but it's like, I find it funny. Like, a lot of stuff about my appearance, stuff about, me. Like, I get a lot of stuff, people accusing me of being like really like insecure, and I make fun of people because I'm jealous over everyone. Like, and funnily enough, the most common criticism I get is from these like random like Nouveau Riche dudes that are like, oh yeah, you're just saying all this stuff because you're poor and you're just jealous of people that have money, and like that one is hilarious and crazy. I'm just like, guys, wake up, like come on, like open your eyes, It's crazy. I mean, I'll show those ones to my friends and we just laugh about it because it's some like, Nouveau Riche crypto dude living in Dubai, like, waxed body and jacked, like telling me that I'm insecure and hate rich people because I'm not one and I'm jealous. And I'm just like, all right, dude. Enjoy your rental Lamborghini.
I love that you raised the Nouveau Riche guys or Nouveau Riche group. I don't know how you explain it. But
the contagion,
dude.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with being Nouveau Riche, like new rich. No, there's nothing wrong. It's that type of person, the show off, the head to toe designer brands, the Urus, the like Louis Vuitton, Dior sneakers, the Richard Mille, the like just the whole look, like the fake tan, the 5 Lux pool parties with like bottle service during the day, the Essex girls with big fake titties. Like that to me is Nouveau Riche. Like I'm describing like a type of guy.
You recently did an AI toy of the Nouveau Riche starter pack, so I hope we can get a picture of that here on screen so that you guys can see his definition of Nouveau Riche aside from
I did. That was Nouveau Riche guy in Dubai.
Yeah, Nouveau Riche.
Like
okay.
Crypto trader, sells online courses, like lives in some high-rise building in the IFC, drives a rented Urus or like a rented Aventador or whatever, some sort of Lamborghini. They wear like silk shirts, little swimming shorts, kind of like Louis Vuitton, or like really like horrendous swimming shorts with like dollar signs on them, like Philip Plein. Crap.
Yeah. Man, I try my best.
You can picture, right? The image.
Dude,
You've seen 1,000 of them.
I know, and it's something that I wanted to raise because I honestly try my best to not judge people. I think it's inherently, you can't judge a book by its cover, but for some reason I cannot explain, when I see someone that fits that persona that you just described, dude, I have this internal cringe and like,
I want to help them.
I
want to help them. I want to go up to them and be like, hey, if you have actually made money, congratulations. Like, let me fix you. Let me
God, that's so patronizing.
Wear a plain t-shirt. Like, wear like high quality items. Wear like understated luxury. Give off the vibe to somebody that you're not kind of phased by money, that you've had money for a while. The fact that you're wearing every single designer brand possible, you're wearing Louis Vuitton sunglasses or Cartier sunglasses and the Gucci hat, like, you're giving off an impression that you just newly acquired cash, or or it's kind of a facade and there's nothing actually behind that. You're never going to attract people of major wealth and status dressed like that. You're only going to attract your own tribe of Nouveau. You're never going to get to like a serious guy that's going to help you in business. You're always going to look like an idiot. So I don't know. I think like it's helpful to be understated, to be low profile, to let your personality and your experience and whatever do the talking, and not like dress like an idiot.
Given that you always see the Nouveaux hanging with the Nouveaux, do you feel that they are aware that how they're dressed?
No, they think that that's showing status.
So they think that that's, let's say, a cool appearance.
Yeah. They think the complete opposite. They think that they're going to attract women and high status men because they're dressed like that, because they're driving that car, because they're hanging with those people. But it does the complete opposite. Like, every single person that's understated and successful or whatever is going to run a million miles away from you if you're presenting yourself like that, if you're hanging out with people like that. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of, because of the way I grew up and the people I grew up with and whatever, like, I know a lot of like old money type people and families, and they ain't hanging out with those people.
No.
Let me put it that way.
No, definitely not.
So
definitely not.
Yeah.
So if anyone that dresses and appears in the persona that Andreas has just described, now you know what to do to
just dress normal. Like can I give you an example? I'll give you an example. James Purse is an expensive t-shirt brand, but there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
There's a tiny little JP here or whatever.
Twinning.
It's very understated, but they're my favorite t-shirts. They're comfortable. They stand the test of time.
Good fit.
And they good fit, good quality, but they're simple. There's nothing on them. Imagine if it had James Purse. It would ruin it. It would completely ruin the t-shirt. Like, I like wearing simple things that make me feel comfortable. Like, and the most successful people I know dress like that. Yep. They dress very simple. How often have you seen, like, remember all those pictures back in the day of like Abramovich in St. Bart's, and he's wearing like a t-shirt and shorts and a little Casio calculator watch, but he's stepping off Polaris.
Yeah. No, it's always like
that's what you want to present to people. You want to show people that you're not like, you got to put on every single thing to like, to look the part.
Yeah, I think it also stems from when people reach a certain level of wealth, they don't have any need within them or feeling to prove themselves financially.
Yeah.
And two, they probably also want to be understated. They don't want to be maybe judged on what they're wearing or what they have, because that they know attracts the wrong.
Well, they realize it's BS as well.
Yeah.
I think you get to the stage where, you're successful enough, you realize that you don't want to pay $500 for something that costs the brand $10 to make.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You're not a schmuck. It's like, I'd rather wear high quality things that are going to last me longer, and I won't be judged on the outfit I'm wearing, but I'll be judged on what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah. Well, now that I've known how to push your buttons, I want to ask you some rapid fire questions.
Cool.
For anyone that's struggling with any context as to the nature of these questions and why on earth I'm asking these questions, just spend 20 minutes on the Supersnake page on Instagram, and everything will start making sense.
A good hour, at least.
Oh yeah, an hour ideally. But with 20 minutes, you can maybe get a rough idea if you're a fast reader.
Sure.
So, Supersnake, tell me which option from the two you dislike more. I'm gonna ask you A or B.
Which one I dislike the most?
Yes, which one you hate the most or you dislike the most.
Okay.
So, question number 1. Ibiza or Saint-Tropez?
Saint-Tropez.
Burning Man.
But the problem is if this gets clipped, it's going to seem like I'm picking Saint-Tropez over Ibiza.
Okay. So then let's do it the other way around.
Which one do you prefer? Yeah, I think that's better, because then it's going to be clearer to people. I prefer Ibiza to Saint-Tropez.
Fair enough. Okay.
Or Ibiza.
Let's restart that. Supersnake, tell me which one you prefer.
Yeah.
Ibiza or Saint-Tropez?
Ibiza.
Burning Man or Coachella?
I've never done Burning Man, but I'm going to say Burning Man.
Fake shaman or self-proclaimed IG model?
Oh, I prefer IG model for sure.
Promoter or booth bitch?
Booth bitch.
Okay. Nouveau Riche or crypto bro?
It's kind of like they're one and the same. I would say crypto bro.
Guys who flex or girls who are constantly on their phone?
Guys who flex.
Having an AI girlfriend or an OnlyFans girlfriend?
Having an OnlyFans girlfriend. Much better. Way better.
Do you prefer personality of a cabbage or personality of an asparagus?
I think an asparagus, because I look like an asparagus. So.
Okay, fair enough.
I always come up with new vegetables to compare them.
The final question. Do you prefer Turkish yogurt or Turkish coffee? Given neither are Greek.
That's a horror. I'm gonna say neither. Greek yogurt and Greek coffee.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. Do you actually believe that?
Greek yogurt, 100%, 100%. And I've been now. I can say I've been to Turkey once. Greek coffee, like a Greek Freddo cappuccino, on the beach
is fire.
It hits better than anything hit in the world. You're hungover. You go to the beach. You're in Mykonos, and you dip yourself in the sea, and then you go back to your sunbed and you start drinking a Freddo cappuccino.
You took me right there.
Like you're healed. Instantly.
Born a new man.
I'm sorry, Turkey doesn't compete with that. So.
Oh, come on, dude.
By the way, love Turkish people, love Turkey, very beautiful place, but Greece is clear.
We'll make sure to put the papers or whatever, the proof or the research right on the podcast about the Turkish coffee and Turkish yogurt.
I'm not having either.
He's not having any of it.
That's all we've got in Greece. Literally, we have food, yoga, and tourism. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Like, let us have that.
Fair enough. To be honest, there's a lot of. I think a lot of it is banter between the Greeks and the Turks that's portrayed as hate because there's so much overlap in culture.
Oh my god,
so much overlap in the culture.
Yeah,
we are
big time.
Yeah, deep down similar people. Very, very hospitable.
Very
people.
similar. You invaded us for 400 years, so we're
yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of.
I mean, that's a lot of years
that's happened. Yeah.
So
a lot of Turkish DNA in Greece and a lot of
Exactly.
Greek DNA in Turkey.
Yeah. No, I have so many Turkish friends, and it's just banter. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're so similar.
I want to ask two questions. First, you at the beginning of the page or your journey with Supersnake, you never revealed your face, and I even watched an interview where you had a mask to not reveal anything.
Yeah, I used to have to do that for everything, even like in-person events and stuff.
What changed?
What changed was wearing the mask and the disguise actually like drew more attention to me than not wearing it. Okay. It had like an adverse effect. Like I felt so self-conscious walking into a restaurant or a nightclub in a pink balaclava and sunglasses. Like it actually, because I'm so big as well, it actually like drew more attention to me. And I started to avoid like doing public appearances as the character because I was like, oh, this really sucks. Like I don't enjoy it at all. And then, I don't know, I just deeply thought about it. And I thought if I do this for the right reasons, if like deep down I'm doing it for good reasons that have like, you know, that are aligned with my purpose and my values, I think it makes sense. If I'm doing it because like, oh, I want to be recognized, that's dumb and that's not the way to do it. Luckily, you know, I grew up with like getting access to famous people, met a lot of famous people, had one in the family, and I know it's overrated and it's not nice and it's horrible. So I was never like, that was not an intention of mine, but I enjoy acting. I enjoy doing the comedy stuff. And I thought, you know, I'm not going to deny myself that opportunity. So yeah, I just decided to change it. I didn't like make a song and dance about it. It was just like all of a sudden one day I just like put out a video of me and this comedian called Andreas Metaxa, and we just did like a sketch video together, and that was it. And people were like, wait, that's you? And so I didn't want to make it a big deal. First of all, no one cares. And secondly, like I didn't think I was important enough to make it a big deal. But yeah, just kind of just quickly transition.
Fair enough. And I want to ask you personal question, but how is the dating scene for you and the girls that you're coming across? And this is not a question that I'm in any way trying to position as how is dating life for Supersnake. Not at all. I feel when you're in social settings, you know, you interact with a lot of nice people and also a lot of, you know, somewhat unhinged people. And I myself have my personal opinions, which I'll also share on the dating pool that exists, especially in the cities that we're mostly exposed to.
Yeah.
And my opinion, to be quite honest, is not the most optimistic or positive one.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if that's a fault of where we hang out or choices we make, or if that's just the new normality of how the most women or people are. Or maybe you have a positive experience to talk about.
I mean, I have a ton. I think we certainly do live in a bubble, and I'm talking about like our scene and the society. It's not indicative of the rest of the world, but I do feel very strongly that social media has had a massive negative effect on dating. I think that serendipity is out the window. The idea that you can meet someone naturally where you don't know anything about them and you meet by chance, and you know, like I always tell stories of like what my dad used to tell me when my dad's 90 years old. So he was dating in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. And he used to tell me that if you met a woman or a girl out somewhere at a dinner, at a gala, at a party, something had to happen that night. You had to like get their address and write it down, or write down their phone number on a piece of paper, or have an experience together, because conceivably you may never see them again. So there wasn't this whole like, oh yeah, I'm going to ignore him and then stalk him on Instagram for 3 years and then eventually like respond to his DM 3 years later that girls do now. It was far more natural and serendipitous. It was organic, the way you'd meet people. It was by how many times, be honest, have you gone to a dinner where a girlfriend of yours has said, oh, I'm going to bring a friend, and you know everything about her before you sit down? Yeah. You know what her dog's name is, you know where she lives, you know her favorite band, you know what she did last week, you know what she had for breakfast, straight away, because you have access to that in 5 seconds. You can just have a look. So you sit down and your reactions are completely inorganic. You know everything about them in the same way the girls do that to us. You know, I have a private Instagram, my personal Instagram, but on Supersnake, like people can figure out so much stuff about me. They can Google stuff about me. So you sit down with someone and they know everything about you already. Mm-hmm. So it's meant that people are very much like non-committal. They're just going to like wait by their time, have 7 people they're dating at the same time, eventually figure out who they want to see. So that it's had a very, very negative impact. I even remember dating when I was 18 in the era of like BlackBerry and, you know, BBM and just having a status, and that was it. It was far more simple. You know, we had Facebook, but it was like pretty, you know, it was basic. It wasn't that interesting. Yeah. And it didn't have a lot of functionality. So yeah, I think that's an issue. I think, you know, the whole like a sugar baby, sugar daddy culture is not helping as well. I feel like women feel entitled to a good life without necessarily offering anything in return. And men feel like they can get whatever they want just by having money. So I think both things are bad. I don't think, like,
facts.
We were out last night in DIFC.
I'm going to elaborate.
And, you know, I was with a girl and maybe like 3 different guys I saw, like, looking at her like she was a piece of meat at the market. And like, I remember like turning my back straight away, some guys like going in, and she was like, what, you know, and I was like, what did he say? And he was saying like, you know, like, how much are you or whatever. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Clearly she's with someone. And the second I turn my back, you're asking her how much she is, just because she's a beautiful Eastern European girl or whatever. Like that stigma is crazy. Like Dubai dating is just wild. But yeah, men feel just in the same way that women feel entitled to go on private jet, be on yachts, whatever, without offering anything. Like you could have zero personality. You're just a beautiful girl. Why should you be on yachts and boats the whole time? What are you offering to the equation? Are you an interesting person to be around? Are you nice? Are you sweet? Are you fun? Are you caring? Are you appreciative? Are you grateful? Because if you ain't any of those things, why should you deserve this life without doing anything? Like, I don't believe in that. I believe that women, of course, should pine for a guy that's successful, that can offer them security and can guide them and can be whatever. And I also love the fact that women can be boss bitches and run their own businesses and do their own thing. Great. But like when I see women that have bad character and just beauty, or like just like really like overly like inauthentic beauty, like, you know, heavily made up face, or like, you know, overly operated on body and everything, and they're just like, oh, I deserve to be on yachts all the time now. It's like, what, like, but what are you bringing to the equation? And the same way that men are just purely after transactional relationships now. They're like, I'm rich, I brought you to dinner, we're sleeping with each other. And the girl's like, I just met you an hour ago. Like, I think both are incredibly wrong. So it messes it up for good guys that are, you know, well brought up and have manners and whatever, because the nice guys just don't do well in the dating scene.
The issue is, I feel social media has to a certain degree facilitated this trading platform of beauty being exchanged as a currency with actual money. I mean, we see exactly as you said, there are a lot of, let's say, fun and beautiful women who don't really have anything else to offer, and they end up hanging out with men that, let's say, have a lot of money that also don't necessarily have you know, anything else to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
And the issue is that because these girls that are, you know, fun and beautiful get all this access, they then like there are women, many women, some, you know, educated, smart, well-traveled, that truly believe that them being fun and beautiful is all that's necessary to bring to the table in a relationship.
Exactly.
And to me,
and one of those things can be artificially created.
Yeah.
Right? How many girls have you seen that didn't used to be beautiful that have gone under the knife 25 times and they look beautiful? Yeah. Like they do a Bella Hadid. You know, it's like, that's crazy to me. So the value that you're offering isn't even real.
Yeah. Beauty is expiring. Yeah. And fun, I mean, you can find fun people everywhere.
Yeah. It's like, how do you define fun?
Fun. Yeah, yeah.
Like guys would define it in totally different ways. Like if girls don't put out, she ain't fun. But it's like, but do you want a girl that puts out the first night? Like, do you want like to have anything to do with her more than that first night? Like, if you think about it deeply, not really. Do you want the mother of your kids to, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think that's like something you should be aspiring to. And I see it all the time. Like guys will be like, oh yeah, like took her for dinner and, you know, we didn't sleep with her the first night. So I'm never going to text her again. I'm like, what? Like, since when was that a thing that you can't at least go on a second date? At least, like, oh my God, how dramatic. You know, it's wild.
Yeah. And another big issue, in my opinion, is that social media has given us so much exposure to see these high extremes of life, like yachts, boats, planes, travel, crazy lifestyle. Yeah. And a generation ago, to be able to have seen or be exposed to those things, you would have had to live it. And
you didn't know it existed
exactly
until you got invited on one.
You didn't know.
You're like, wait, what is this? You know,
exactly. Yeah. And now the issue that we face is that exposure has created really unrealistic expectations as to what's real and accessible.
Big time.
But then the reality is, as men, this is the first generation to exist that's financially worse off than the previous generation.
Yeah.
Previous generation, very high percentage of people could buy their own house.
Yeah.
Now that's not the case. So you've had expectations go up, and on average, what can be provided go down. And that's also creating a major imbalance in the dating scene.
I totally am on board with that. I think the expectations are not just unrealistic; they're completely outlandish. And you know, and when you're
especially when some of them don't bring anything to the table, it's like, have these high expectations.
Yeah.
If you're this incredible person that's very nurturing, caring, that will help with various things as you view a partnership as teamwork. But some people know.
No, it's wild. And I think, you know, as someone, I really believe in leading with you know, my character and my personality first. I'm not the sort of guy that meets and says, I'm going to buy you a Birkin tomorrow and I'm going to take you shopping and I'm going to pay your rent. And I'm like, I don't do that stuff. So even just by having that philosophy, I eliminate myself from, you know, 85% of the dating pool in the high society scene. And I'm not talking about like good girls. I'm talking about the sort of girls that are transactional. That's a problem. And I see it all the time. Guys that I know, sometimes they don't admit it, but they lead with that. They see a girl out. I'm going to take you shopping tomorrow. I'm going to buy you a Birkin. Oh, you want to go to Chanel tomorrow? Or do you want this? I'm going on a boat for Monaco Grand Prix. You want to, like, they lead with that. They're not even like, hi, my name is John. It's, I'm going to buy you gifts.
Because that states very clearly, this is going to be a transaction.
Yeah,
of
let's
currencies.
not waste time. This is what I want. This is what you get. Let's make it happen. What sort of romance is that? It's wild. And I refuse to do it. So, yeah, I mean, I even remember recently, I wanted to meet this girl, met her, got along super well. And then her friend said, oh yeah, she really likes you, but you know, she's only dating guys that are like multi-billionaires at the moment. I'm just like, oh, she's in that phase. Like, just straight out, like, and had no sense of shame about saying it. Like, as if it was like totally normal. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, yeah, sure, I'm not worth many billions, but like, I can provide you a decent life. You know, it's like, it's crazy. And then you start to feel like completely like insufficient, right? You're like, oh, well, if I'm not Jeff Bezos, then I'm useless. Because that's the problem. Like you said, it's, you only see extremes on social media. You only see like the Forbes list and, you know, what Elon Musk is worth and whatever. But like, believe me, go hang out with Elon Musk. He lives in a tiny apartment, doesn't spend any money. He's actually a super boring rich guy in that respect. So these, you know, the girls that dream about dating an Elon Musk, you know, it's not.
And he's not going to be able
think.
to allocate much time.
Exactly, it's not what you think.
Him.
So it's like, I don't think that should be that's not like a determining factor in who you should date. You should date someone, of course, that has a certain level of, you know, lifestyle, can provide for you. I totally get that, of course. But it's like, oh, come on. Like, what, you only date guys that are within the 0.00001% of the planet? Like, it's insane. So, yeah, I think that's the problem with dating in our scene. But I don't even know where to look. I don't know where this like utopian selection of women is that exists on the planet, where they're all like beautiful and sweet and nice and ambitious and career focused and like
caring.
Where
and
is that? Is that like a country where they just exist and
maybe not
run around in green pastures with rainbows and unicorns? I don't, you know. So yeah,
maybe just not in the major cities. Maybe.
Yeah, but I've spent enough time in like not major cities, and I don't know. The problem is they have exposure to it on social media. They're seeing what life could be. And so a lot of these girls are aspiring to that lifestyle. Yeah. They want to be with a celebrity, or they want to be, you know, because they know everything now. They know what the Met Gala after party is, and they know what Amphar is. And then, you know, like a random girl that grows up in the middle of Australia knows about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen it. I was just in Australia for a month. They all know about everything. And they're getting invited by, like, a girl that grew up in the middle of nowhere in Australia is getting invited by a guy in West Hollywood inviting her to Coachella, and they're flying there. That you know, that's what's happening. So it's not like you go to a random town in Australia meeting these like innocent girls that have never no, they know everything.
Yeah, no.
It's you know, like if Drake's rapping about it, they're gonna know, like they know it exists.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, it's nuts.
It's crazy. It's a wild world out there. So
somewhat
just keep
doomed,
persevering.
But the special ones do exist.
I believe in that.
Unicorns do exist.
I believe in it. You just gotta keep living. Try and, you know, surround yourself with the right people if you can. I think realistically, like, I see myself meeting someone that kind of is in my world a little bit, and I mean my work world, like someone in music or TV or the creative industries. I think that is someone that I think I would want to be with, someone that kind of understands what I do, and we could like vibe off each other. And I don't know. I like the idea of being with a girl that is talented, that I'm like inspired by. Would be cool, because it's not enough to just look at a pretty sculpture every day.
No, definitely.
You're like, oh, look at my girlfriend. Everyone's like, okay, but she can't talk. You know, it's like I need something more than that.
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself a very simple question when you're with someone. Does this person make me a better human being?
Yeah, very important. How often have you seen couples that like a girl will ruin, like objectively, she's not like the worst girl, but makes your friend a worse guy?
Oh, yeah.
Happens all the time. It's the worst. And then occasionally you meet a girl that makes your friend 100 times
100
better.
times better, yeah.
So that's it. That's so important. They've got to be complementary.
No, 100%. What advice would you give to someone that's starting up a social media platform? Because you managed to do it, to my knowledge, with no allocated budget, no investment, no capital. So in theory, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But in reality, very few can. So what advice would you give someone trying to build social media presence?
I mean, I think it obviously depends on the sector that you're in. But what I always tell people is, what are you bringing to the equation? Like, what is special about you? What is unique about you? What are you doing differently to the competition? And if the answer to all those questions is, I don't know, you're not going to succeed. You have to have, there's got to be inherent value add in your, like what you're bringing to the table, your type of content, whatever it may be, that will get you noticed. Like clearly I was doing something that was different. And I was strategizing from the beginning, even though it started off as a, as a joke and a bet. I was thinking from the beginning, like, what am I doing differently to everyone else? What could I do? Like, how do you stand out in social media? Like, on Instagram, you have a square. You have a square where you can present you and you can show off yourself. I was like, okay, everyone's putting something in the image, but no one's putting anything below. I was like, that's how I can stand out. I'm going to write a story in the caption. Maybe I wasn't the first to do it. But I think I was definitely one of the first. I can't remember a lot of accounts that were doing long captions.
Yeah, same.
So I don't know. I think really think and really strategize. Like treat it like a business. Don't treat it just because it's an Instagram page or a TikTok account or a YouTube account. Doesn't mean that it shouldn't have any less importance from a business perspective. Like you really have to strategize, plan, and you have to develop a unique skill that sets you apart from the competition. That's the only way you're going to grow. And I believe that I've managed to do that because, I've grown and also I've attracted attention from people in Hollywood and whatever. Like they've recognized something that I do differently and they've wanted to buy into that and be part of it and work with me. So I think it's really important to hone a skill, like figure out why you stand out and go all in on it and double down and just keep working on that. And if the answer is, if someone asks you the question and you can't give them an answer, give up. Like just something has to be different about you. Otherwise, why would people care? Yeah.
Especially when we have so a saturation of information.
Competition
and pages.
is fierce. It's so fierce. You're everyone, pretty much every business on the planet is competing for your attention.
Yeah.
So
got to stand out.
Yeah, if you don't stand out, you've got no hope.
I wanted to draw a funny parallel. I saw in a previous interview that you did with the Gentleman's Journal that they asked you, do you have any recurring dreams? Yeah. And you mentioned that you had a recurring nightmare of waking up the morning of an exam that you hadn't studied for. Yeah. And I found that very bizarre because that's my most common recurring dream or nightmare. Yeah. I don't know, once every 2-3 months, I wake up in the morning, or not even the morning, middle of the night, I'm completely stressed out and it's the moment pre-exam. I haven't studied. For me, it was in boarding school where I had that anxiety. Yeah. I get it every few months.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. There have been times, even like very recently, where I wake up and it feels like the world is going to end. And I'm sitting there in bed, I can barely get up. I'm like freaking out. And then I go, wait a second. It's just like a Tuesday. I'm totally fine. And then I just like snap out of it. And I'm like, what? But clearly something was happening in the dream beforehand. It's trauma. Like it's a really traumatic, period of my life. Those 4 years at Oxford were really tough. And I freaked out big time. I mean, I got told the reason why I think it's so cute and strong for me was I was told by my French tutor at Oxford that I was going to fail the exams. Mm-hmm. He said, you're going to be the first person in whatever, I think it was like almost 100 years that's going to fail French from this college. Like he told me that directly to my face. He had like a meeting with the dean and me and said, Andreas is going to fail. And the dean said, do you think you're going to fail? And I said, no. And the dean said, well, Dr. whatever his name was, why do you think Andreas is going to fail? And he came up with all these reasons, whatever. He was confusing me with another person in another class. Different person. He cared that little about me, didn't even know who I was. Anyway, I mean, I wasn't like the best student at Oxford. Like it's difficult to be the best at Oxford. Yeah. But I graduated with a 2-1. But I remember going into every single exam freaking out because he thought I was going to fail. And I
Yeah.
was like, I cannot fail. And that put a lot of pressure on me. And I think I don't know, my mind went wild. And also my parents were getting divorced at the time. It was a really difficult period for me. So I had a lot of stress in my head. And and it still continues to this day. It's so weird.
Interesting. Yeah, same. It still continues for me as well. I get every couple of months waking up from this nightmare of walking into an exam or the morning of an exam or a day of an exam that I haven't, I would kind of leave studying to the last minute.
Yeah.
And another interesting parallel, you mentioned that your teacher was saying you were going to fail. I had in my entire year the largest gap between their exam predictions and their exam results. My average prediction was like a C. So I got multiple D's predicted, didn't have a single A
So
predicted,
crazy
my
that they're
GCSEs. And the predictions are official. They're like submitted to the unis, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then
Where was this? Which school?
Oundle School.
Okay, yeah.
And then I ended up getting 7 A stars and 3 A's in
Amazing.
my GCSEs. It was
Amazing.
like the biggest.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But
It feels good to prove them wrong.
it does. And to be honest, it was very bizarre because till that point, till any official examination, all my test results were reflecting kind of C's and D's. So I don't know what changed. It's difficult to explain. But yeah, long story short, I can very much relate to that PTSD or whatever you call it, the recurring nightmares. Another thing we clearly have in common based on the piece of content that you produced. I don't know if I should whip it out so that you can see it. But you posted a post that says, girls that dress like this have given me major trust issues. It's this. Let's put it on the screen here. I don't know how we're going to put it.
Yes.
That post. Dude.
Yes.
I promise.
That was based on a real life event at the time.
Dude, the week you posted this, I had gone on a date with a girl who I shall not name. I was seeing her for a little while. Someone I'm pretty sure that you know. And she had come to the date wearing that exact, the same shoes and the same socks. And
the like schoolgirl outfit.
Exactly.
Like the little skirt and the little frilly socks.
Exactly.
Prada loafers, yeah.
And she's a girl to give major trust issues. So how are these things, all these posts, are they universal?
Well, I mean, yeah, again, it goes back to what we were discussing before. It's like me noticing certain things, patterns, like how people are dressing. And I was in LA at the time and I was like also pursuing this girl, went on a date with her. She was dressed in that outfit. And I just started to notice that all of her friends were dressed the same. They all had the little frilly socks, the same Prada loafers. They were all dressed like the little schoolgirl with little skirts. Like it was just like a uniform in LA at the time. And I thought I have to make a post about this.
Yeah.
And clearly it resonated because, it did well. But I found that funny that all of a sudden like Hailey Bieber dresses like that once. And then there's just like a legion of girls around the planet dressed in like frilly socks and in like loafers and all this stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I equated that to a type of girl in LA. It was kind of like the West Hollywood model girls that like pretend they're like good girls, but they're not.
Oh yeah, that's very, very...
That was the type that I was kind of going for with that post.
That's a very common theme, I think, universally, not just in just in LA or Hollywood. A lot of people pretend to be things that they're not. And the irony is that if you are engaging with someone that has above average brain or observation, the truth is going to come out eventually. So might as well have this filter carry out the process of filtering two people to go their separate paths early on than waste a year or several months of each other's time when you're just not going to be compatible. But you're pretending to be someone that's going to be compatible with this person. Yeah. But in the end, the truth always prevails, especially when you're engaging with people that have a brain.
Yeah, I suffer because I'm too honest. I'm, maybe on the first or the second date, if I just notice something, I'll put it into a message or I'll tell them to their face. And the amount of times they've gone crazy, they've called me rude, like, oh, this is so unacceptable. I can't believe I'm being treated like this. And then like months later, they'll be like, oh, I actually respect that you said that. It was good that you were being honest. I'm like, well, isn't that the way forward? Why waste either of our time? I found like that's the best policy. But so many guys and girls will just pretend and just kind of, that's just not really me. Like I'd rather just be flat out honest. Hey, this isn't going to work because of this. Sorry, you seem like a nice girl, but
that's not. Yeah, no.
Done.
100%.
Move on. Like,
And this podcast is called Truth Central.
Truth Central.
Yeah,
Cool.
For
okay.
that exact reason.
Great.
In general, that I myself personally, I've had many experiences in life where the truth has been very delayed or hidden, and I reached this point in my life, I think around a year and a half ago, where I said that from this point forward, I am never ever going to engage even in a very basic, small white lie, and I am never going to maintain anyone in my life who is not truthful. And it was just a couple of consecutive experiences with people that I trusted, respected, and liked who are not truthful.
Yeah.
And then it just made me make this decision. There's going to be absolutely no room for non-truths in my life. I don't have that time to waste. I don't need to when there are amazing, incredible people that are truthful.
Agreed.
So much to the point that it led me to want to call this podcast Truth Central so that I can sit down with people and have raw, unfiltered conversations, exploring real perspectives, and to seek truth in conversation.
Very important.
But yeah.
I love that.
I want to ask you another question,
Sure.
which is about DJing.
Okay.
You do DJ, and you have DJed at pretty impressive venues, and you do also manage to draw a really cool crowd. How did you pivot to DJ, and why did you pivot to DJing?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people know. I mean, some people know that I was actually doing music and DJing before Supersnake. So I forget which year it was. I think it was 2017. I signed up to music school in London, and I went to Point Blank Music Academy, or music school, and I did a music production, sound design, sound engineering, DJ course, Ableton course. And yeah, it was kind of like an early midlife crisis. All of a sudden I was like, I just need to be studying music. I've always loved music, and I've had music in the family and stuff, but I had never thought of it as a potential career. Went to school, learned, convinced a friend of mine who's a fantastic musician to form like a duo with me. And we started producing music and DJing together. And we had, some pretty decent success for a few years. And then, we were living together in London, making music. And then he moved to Mexico. And so we kind of like paused the music project. But it was always something I was so passionate about, and I really missed it. I missed like being in the studio every day and DJing and stuff. So just one summer I was bored. I was in Mykonos, and the owners of Void, I was out at the club, and they said, "Oh my God, we had a cancellation next Saturday. Do you know any DJs that are like in Mykonos or around Mykonos that we could book?" And I was drunk that night, and I said, "Well, just book me." And they were like, "That's a great idea. We'll book you." And I was like, "Okay, I'm down." And that was the first time I ever DJed a Supersnake. And I remember like walking into the booth the night of my performance, and one of the owners grabs me and he goes, "Andrea, do you know how to DJ?" We hadn't even spoke about it. I was like, yes, don't worry. He's like, "Okay, good." And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, okay, wait a second. I can get booked just because of who I am and the fact that I can bring a crowd and the fact that I've got a following and a network that I can market to. I know how to DJ, and I know how to find music, and I know how to make music and all this stuff. Like, I might as well just roll with this. And I felt like it was quite synergetic with the page and what I was already doing. I don't think it's like such a departure for like, I know it's like ironic and all these people are like, "Oh my God, you became the person you always make fun of." But I'm like, I've always had DJ friends. I've always loved music. I used to be a DJ, just people just didn't know about that. So I was like, well, not really. It's actually quite authentic. I was doing it for the last 4 years. So yeah, it just felt like a natural continuation. And now the goal is to start making Supersnake original music. So I'm trying to work on that. My production is not, it's just not good anymore. Like, I've just been out of it for so long. So I'm looking for people to kind of collaborate with and make music. But yeah, that's the goal, to start making music, and therefore then the shows will be a bit more authentic and make sense. I'm not just being booked because of my Instagram account. But yeah, it is authentic and real.
If you had to choose between DJing or meme making, which one would you choose?
I mean, I would say if I had to choose between DJing and comedy, I would choose comedy. Okay. Meme making, I think, is going to get boring, but I think comedy, the way I look at it is, am I going to be one of the best musicians in the world? No, I don't believe so. I think I'm good, and I think I can write music and write lyrics and whatever, but I'm not going to be one of the best. Can I be one of the best comedians in the world? Yes. And I genuinely believe that. I could look at the camera and believe it. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, could you be one of the best DJs in the world? No chance. Because I know some of these guys, and I know how incredibly talented they are, and they've been doing music since they were 6 years old. I'm not going to compete. But I think I could be one of the best comedians. So might as well choose the path that I'm actually good at. But music I love. You know, and like just in the same way that you love music and DJing and stuff, it's like I don't need to be the best in the world. I can just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a passion.
Yeah, it's a passion.
Yeah. It's a nice hobby to have. Like there's something about, at least for music and DJing, the thing that I love most about it is, for me, I have a very active mind. My brain is always racing with thoughts in any moment. Whatever I'm doing, I'm always getting thoughts that are unrelated to the activity that I'm doing. And
I feel you.
With DJing, it's one of the only things that I can do that from the point at when I start doing it and I finish doing it, whether it's 1 hour or 5 hours, there is not a single thought that comes to my mind aside from being present in the moment.
You have to.
Like,
you know, if someone presses a button, or if you know, like, you've got to be really on it. That's what people don't realize about DJing. You have to be super on it. So many things can go wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it happens all the time. You've got to be so in touch with what's going on. Like, and it is nice to be able to be just focused on one activity.
Yeah. And it's the language that speaks all languages, music. You know, it's in every culture throughout history and society. It's a beautiful thing. It brings people together, puts a smile on people's faces, and to be involved in dictating the energy and emotion in a room full of people. I mean, sometimes strangers, I guess, in gigs, but in private events, surrounded by people you love and respect. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, it really is.
I wanted to ask you, what's the wildest DM you've ever received? Does something come to mind?
It's really hard because I receive a lot of weird DMs. Yeah. Wild, I mean, it depends how you define wild. I wish I could come up with something. I just get a lot of weird ones. I get like a lot of weird messages from women, or like a lot of like mean messages from haters. I can't think of like any like major celebrities that have DM'd that would be interesting. I get some from time to time, but it's usually not that interesting. It would just be like responding to my story. No, just like responding to a story or something.
Fair enough.
It's not that crazy. But I mean, I don't know. This is not a DM, but like the weirdest, I think this is just going to be better entertainment wise. Like the fact that someone like DiCaprio is like a genuine fan of my memes is like, that freaked me out. Like having,
he's watching, he's vested.
Yeah. Well, I know he told me that he told me, and his best friend told me that because he doesn't use Instagram, his friends will like screenshot them and put them in the group chat. So he sees them that way. And yeah, I've had like multiple conversations with him about my memes and comedy and stuff. And like, it's just, so that's cool. Like because to me, he is Supersnake. Like he's the archetype.
Yeah.
So like I've succeeded because he is the guy I had in mind. Like he is the embodiment of the account.
Yeah. And clearly he, like some of the people that you mentioned that can't deal with being made fun of, there are several references of DiCaprio, and you say that he's the embodiment of Supersnake.
No, I destroy him, and he loves it.
Loves it.
Genuinely loves it. Like I've asked him about it, and he was like, I find it hilarious.
It's all about, in my opinion, security. Like either you're insecure and you can't take it, or you're secure. I want to talk about your favorite subject. It's something you're really passionate about, you really believe in, and it dictates a lot of your life and your emotions. It's horoscopes. So tell us, Andreas, how much you love horoscopes and how much they mean to you.
My sister's really into them, so she makes me aware of stuff, but I wouldn't say I'm overly into it. I really like.
No, it was a sarcastic question.
I went through, like, there was that phase where everyone was using CoStar and stuff, and that would be like the first question that girls would ask you is, "Give me your CoStar," and they would just like check compatibility. That was a crazy period. It doesn't happen so much anymore. But I mean, I believe in some of the stuff. I think I do have a lot of Cancer traits. I identify with.
Okay.
So I think it does make sense, but I think the people that like read into it too much,
Yeah, man. I remember.
it's a bit crazy. But yeah, no, I'm not against it. I think it's interesting.
Okay. I just had this flashback of one time. I think we were hanging out with Alex. I remember you ripping into horoscopes.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, no, I think it's the people that will their lives are dictated by them. That's a problem.
Okay.
You know, it's not the be all and end all. I think it's just something interesting to look into. But I would never like make life decisions based on my horoscope.
So you believe in having horoscopes as being used as various reference points, but not
I believe like to a degree in like compatibility of the horoscopes, but I think there's always like exceptions to the rule. I don't think you can't definitively say that, you know, Cancer and Sagittarius has a bad mix. That's just not, you can't say something like that.
No.
There's always going to be exceptions, but I think it's as a general rule, it could be useful because you're like, oh, we're not compatible. Like, because you feel that way, and then you realize that she's the kind of opposite sign to you, and then you're like, okay, maybe that makes sense. But I wouldn't say like it dictates what I do and what I think.
Yeah, the issue is I don't judge, don't have any issue with people that use horoscopes as reference points and try to learn various things through it. But I also think I've been in a position where I've been on dates or I've met people that follow horoscopes absolutely religiously. And then I found out this was relatively new information. We have like a rising, falling, backflipping, and that ends up being like 6, 7, 8 different horoscopes. So you've already covered like your 75% of the horoscopes anyways. So
agreed.
You can't not.
It's too much.
Overlap.
Yeah.
It's a bit wild. Art Basel is a topic that you post about a lot. Can you
once a year?
No, but you're multiple posts.
I enjoy that subject.
I've never been to Art Basel.
You've never been to Art Basel?
I've never been to Art Basel. But I find the content very entertaining.
Are you just saying this to look good on camera, or you actually haven't been?
No, I've never been to Art Basel.
All right.
Never been. Maybe next year we go together. I have.
It's incredible.
Don't know if you wouldn't want to be named, but you know, Turkish mutual friend, I guess, that does this event alongside. You know, I have friends that go every year and have a great time, but never.
Oh, you would love it.
Are you gonna go next year?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
every year.
Explain to someone who's never been. Why is it?
I honestly believe, like, I mean, I always joke before I go to Art Basel. I always tell people it's like my social, it's like my Met Gala. For me, it's like one of the best moments of the social calendar because you get a lot of people fly in for it. So you get a lot of different international people coming, and it's a really good intersection of like house parties and like raves, like house music parties. Mm-hmm. Those are my two favorite things. Like I love a really good house party and I love a really good rave. And there's just all of them like packed into 1 week. So you've got like everything from kindly music that I know you love to like music on to space to 11 to an incredible house party at some guy's house. Like the, you know, best house party I've ever been to happens there. So it's like 5 days of just madness. And and I've met so many people at Art Basel, like, you know, business contacts, friends. I've made like lifetime friends from Art Basel, amazing people I've met that have helped me in business or whatever. It's just a great place to network and you have a good time and you're in Miami, like you're on the beach. Like
So it's not just that it's been fun in the moment, but it's added a lot of value.
A lot.
To you.
Yeah. No, it has. And people will like scoff at that and laugh, but genuinely I've met so many people. I've done it now maybe like 5 or 6 years, and it's just every single time I always come out of it thinking, oh my God, I met that person. So very valuable from a business perspective, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah.
Sounds like I gotta go next year.
Yeah, definitely.
But Andreas or Supersnake.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining Truth Central.
Thank you for having me.
And I guess that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Thanks.